Small Town Stories, that was your last release, which went on to garner you a lot of attention, a lot of awards.
Yeah. That was a busy record.
That's awesome.
When you had put out that album there, Desiree, did you think that you would go on to have all that attention? I mean, you got the Juno nomination. I mean, that doesn't happen to a whole lot of our artists out there.
The award shows are never really my goal when I release music and put that into the universe. Really what my goal is to share stories and share songs and hope that those stories and songs resonate with people. And I swear that I live somewhat of a fluky life, because that was never in my plan. But I was thankful that it happened. It was an amazing experience, and I'm hoping that this next record is as well received as the last one.
Well, the album Tough Street, and we're going to find out how you came up with that title for this album. This album has its first single called Whiskey Nose, and we're going to get a chance to hear that song in a few minutes. But this is your fourth studio album.
Yes, yeah. I know, I'm getting old.
No.
That's really all that means, you know.
It means you have a lot of experience.
This album, Desiree, you actually drew inspiration. Well, you didn't have to go that far to seek inspiration. Your
yeah,
life.
You know what? Sorry, what was that?
I was just going to say, your life as an Indigenous woman.
Yeah, this one is I would definitely say my most personal work yet. The song Tough Street actually came about playing cards with my uncle at Christmas time. We were playing cribbage, and he kept beating me. And finally I said, I don't want to play with you anymore. You're cheating, and this isn't fun. I think we played 3 games of crib, and he won every single one. And he says, I'm not cheating. I'm tough. He says, don't you know I live on Tough Street? The further you go, the tougher they get, and I'm right at the end. And I thought,
I got to write that down.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said. And literally. But it just took me aback. I'd never heard that saying before. And I just thought, Tough Street. And then the more I let that sit with me, the more I thought that there could be something about that, and so it's that song in particular is kind of a proud homage to blue collar folks that are just really working hard every day to make a good life for themselves, and so that's kind of how that song came to be.
Very cool. And your new single Whiskey Nose, how did that come about? Whiskey
Nose turned out in I think songs, when you start writing a song, you never know what the end result is going to be until you really sit down to write it. Mm-hmm. And Whiskey Nose, I had the title. That's all I had was Whiskey Nose, and I in my mind had pictured an alcoholic with the big bulbous nose, but using that as a double meaning. N-O-S-E versus K-N-O-W-S. So anyways, I sat down with Chris Bergaffney, who in my view is one of Canada's best songwriters in the country music industry. And I said, I don't have anything with this song but this title, and I think that this is a really cool title. I said, I think that we could really make a neat song or write a really cool story with this title. So we sat down and we dug into it, and I was really happy with the results. So this is the lead single off of the upcoming album.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And you just recently had a baby?
Well, not so recent anymore. She's 2. She's 3 in May. But yeah, no, and that was part of the reason that I needed to kind of slow down after Small Town Stories. Actually, I was 8.5 months pregnant at the Juno Awards. And I remember getting up at 5:30 in the morning for hair and makeup because I had a bunch of press and media interviews that day. And of course, you have to have your face and hair done up right for all of that. And I didn't get to bed the next day until after the awards show, until 3:30 in the morning. So 8.5 months pregnant, I was awake for almost 24 hours.
Wow.
And the moms out there know that when you're that close to giving birth, that you're absolutely exhausted, and I was, and I knew that if I didn't stop, I was going to end up in a really bad place. And so I knew that I needed to take a step back and slow down and get some balance back in my life and focus on my family and focus on my brand new baby, and just get rejuvenate myself a bit. And so so that was a much needed rest.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have a 1.5-year-old, so I totally understand. And I took a little country music break too, so I totally hear you. It's needed.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is.
Desiree, with the album Tough Street, that is coming out next month. Is that correct?
Yeah, April 3rd. April 3rd. Yeah.
April 3rd, and we got the single here. Whiskey Nose, which we're going to be playing in a few minutes. But you're calling us this morning from Vegas. What took you down there?
Yeah, we Manitoba Music we are so fortunate as Indigenous artists, first of all, to have the Aboriginal Music Program, which is a program underneath the umbrella of Manitoba Music. And Alan Grey Eyes is, he heads that program. He runs the program, and he's an amazing advocate for Indigenous artists, not just in Manitoba, but across the country. And so we've been coming down here. I think this is our 5th year, and I've been fortunate to come 3 of those years. This is the 3rd time being here for me. And basically what we do is we set up, in the past we've set up a booth at the Reservation Economics Summit, which is, I believe, one of North America's largest business conventions for Indigenous businesses. And so we've been coming here essentially to try and procure business on behalf of Indigenous artists and try and garner more opportunities for us to do business with Native American tribes here in the U.S. So it's an exciting opportunity. We're starting to make some headway, and we're hoping to see the fruits of our persistence in the near future.
That's really cool.
In addition to yourself that is down there, are you able to tell us who else is along for the ride?
Yeah, of course. Jade Turner is here with us this time.
Oh, cool.
Leonard Sumner is here, and Vince Fontaine. So there's 4 of us that are here for the week. We're actually headed to LA on Thursday to go and meet with music supervisors to hopefully garner some licensing opportunities for our music.
Wow.
So, yeah, some really exciting stuff happening.
That's amazing.
Oh, congratulations. That's huge.
And you've, in the past as well, you also received a nomination from the Native American Music Awards.
Yeah, it's crazy how, you never know when you, like I said, when you release music into the universe, what's going to happen with it. And when you tell a story, what is going to happen with that story. And really they just kind of take on a life of their own. And, that my last record was nominated for a NAMI was a pretty cool thing. That's a big deal in the U.S. for sure. So that was exciting.
Desiree, the new album comes out on April the 3rd. It'll be in stores. It'll also be available for download.
It'll be available on all digital media outlets.
Okay.
So iTunes, Spotify. People can order physical copies through my website if they want a physical copy of the record. If they want to find out more about me, about where to get my music, they can check out my website at DesireeDorion.com. I've also got a Facebook page and Twitter and Instagram. So, if anyone wants to stay in touch with what's going on, that's where they can find me.
Well, Desiree, I got to say thank you for joining us here this morning on the program. We're quite eager to get your new song here going, Whiskey Nose.
Thanks so much for having me, you guys. It was nice to talk to you again, Wally.